there is very little I can do for the children of Gaza, even though I can tell you that it's nights in which I feel if I could only just hold them and give them the comfort that Sorry.
If you become Zionist, you can become a Jew and you can become the victim and the good one. Germany of today doing the same like the Nazi Germany. They are selecting between Jews.
The phrase "never again" to me was always extremely clear. Meaning of never again was that the cruelty, brutality, and sheer barbarity of the Holocaust would never be repeated. It was not attached to any race, to any religion.
Everyone is using now this never again, but it's quite, I would say, a kind of political lie. It was instrumentalized to say this was a pogrom or a Holocaust and Hamas people are Nazis or worse than Nazis, and therefore never again is now. This is what the right-wing people are saying all over the world, not only in Israel, also here in Germany.
I like to refer to something that my father used to say, and his source was wrong, but he attributed this one line to the Talmud. He attributed the line, "No human suffering is foreign to me." This duty to any suffering of others, that the suffering of others was always my suffering, I think defines me, defines my political biography, defines the way I understand Gaza today, defines the way that I understand the life of Palestinians.
Every one of us is walking with a genocide in its pocket. It's photos in our mobile phones. And I would say as a psychoanalyst, even if you don't look, even if you don't see, even if you see only reels about kittens, it is in the air. And we know, all of us, that we live in a mafia.
But if I kept watching, it's because I feel that there is very little I can do for Gaza, for the people of Gaza, for the children of Gaza, even though I can tell you that it's nights in which I feel if I could only just hold them and give them the comfort that Sorry. The comfort that I would give my children. But I feel that the only thing that I can absolutely do, especially after 10 years of journalism with a certain amount of seniority, is to bear witness. I can bear witness. To that degree, I feel it's my absolute duty to do it. And then the other element is that I try to think of how one rescues Judaism, at least the Judaism of my father, from the monstrosity of the Zionist project and what it has become.
After the 7th of October, the state organized demonstrations which were pro-Israeli with all the power institutions of Germany, the church, the president, everybody, yeah? And they mobilized also to these demonstrations while forbidding pro-Palestinian demonstration. So we in the Jewish Voice for Just Peace in the Middle East, we applied to have a demonstration against these horrible things that are happened in Israel and Palestine, and it was refused. If you will go alone, it's something else, it's not an assembly. There is a ban on assemblies. So I went alone to this sign saying, as an Israeli and a Jew, stop the genocide in Gaza. And then the police came and arrested me. They detained me. They told me to take the sign off. They took me into the police car because I refused to take it down. And then they checked everything. When they saw that I have an Israeli passport, they started to be nice to me. I became the good Jew.
Deutsche Welle was, like almost every other media organization in Germany, under constant observation of political operators that were sort of folded into the media system. Pretty much anywhere you go in Germany, what you will find is not only this sort of maniac paranoia about being called anti-Semites, but only the same paranoid disposition towards other media looking and observing what is that you're doing. I would actually say that 70 to 80% of the people inside Deutsche Welle feel like me, or maybe in some or other version of the way that I see Gaza, but they operate in fear. I think that by the time that they pushed me out, which was a couple of months after a very combative anti-Semitism workshop in which I was forced to go, even though I protested, I basically was told that management have heard about my behavior in this workshop. The official claim was that there was no more work for me at Deutsche Welle. So up until today, they have not made clear the reasons.
So you are in a space in which it is vague, arbitrary. You don't really know what's right, what's wrong. So you're insecure all the time. You live in fear, and this is part of it. Controlling the people. Actually, it has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is the thing with which you can convey to the population that it's okay to control them.
When I hear in Germany somebody being accused of anti-Semitism, it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. When I hear somebody that feels that the word Gaza with too guttural a G is an expression of anti-Semitism, or when I hear that the kefir is an expression of anti-Semitism, I think that they live really in another universe.
Germany used the Jews to say we are clean, and therefore the pictures in which we are arrested as Jews are being beaten up by German police. These are important images because it shows that it's not about the Jews. Germany of today doing the same like the Nazi Germany.
Einstein, who in 1938 said that actually a narrow nationalism would be a type of Zionism that would resemble exactly what we'd been trying to fight, which that is to say Nazism. And I leave it to your audience to understand the fact that the statement by Einstein in 1938 would have him chased out, deplatformed, censored, and kicked out of Germany in 2025 again.
They are selecting between Jews. And in that times they were selecting between the Jews that can work and the Jews that can manage the concentration camps until they were killed and murdered like everybody else. And now they are selecting between the Jews who are serving them, who they can control.
In Germany, it's now essentially illegal to say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. If, as a universalist Jew, if I cannot express the thought that from the river to the sea, every single human being should have equal rights and an equal vote, that every Palestinian within that stretch of land should be free and emancipated and able to choose the form of governance and the form of state in which they live, then I cannot be a Jew. And in this one sense, I think that among several others, Germany to me is still not a country for Jews.